Hey, my reactors. I'm going to read chapter 48 through 52. Chapter 48. What if I tell you that I'm ready to let him go? Will he even matter? Fur. Fur was laying face up on her bed as she was listening to the soothing sounds of Lisa and her friends regurgitate like it was going out of style. When someone knocked on her door, she grabbed the roll and walked towards it. Who is it? She said before opening. Your oldest brother, Shadow said. You mean my only brother? She corrected him, opening the door. When she saw who was standing next to him, she felt light. Oh, I didn't know you had company. I would have put something else on. I don't have company. You do. Who the fuck is this nigga? Shadow pointed to Slade. Should I come back later? No, Fur said quickly. There was no way on earth she would let him get away this time. And he looked so good, standing at her doorway. Come in. I'm not doing anything. Who is this, sis? He persisted. Damn, Shadow, you act like you fucking knew something. He glared at the vile idea. If you must know, this is my friend, and his name is Slade, so I got it from here. Thank you. Slade, huh? Shadow looked him up and down. Well, whoever you are, you better treat my sister right. Slade didn't respond because he was overprotective of his siblings too. It's not even like that, man. He looked at her. I'm here to settle a debt, and after that, I'm out. Shadow looked at Slade and then at his sister. Let me know if you need me. He walked away. She nervously smoothed her hair and said, come on in. I was just watching TV. If you got a few minutes anyway, you can sit with me. When he walked inside, she locked the door. Slade stood in the middle of the room and was about to walk to a chair when he heard Lisa and her friends. It would be guts and butts all night, and she knew it. What's that? Somebody had a hangover or something? Fur tried to act as if she didn't hear all the commotion outside her door. She didn't want him thinking she was a troublemaker or somebody capable of hurting another. In his eyes, she wanted to be innocent and pure. I don't hear anything, she lied. Whatever it is, you need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about it. My roommates could be doing anything. She cleared a place on her bed. Sit down right here. The chair is broke. He took his seat. You want something to drink? I can whip you up a mix drink right now. When she said that, Courtney yelled, bitch, I'm not drinking nothing else than this motherfucker. I can't believe you tried to kill us. Slade grinned and looked at the closed door. Nah, I passed. He reached in his pocket and handed her some cash. That's all the money I owe you for bailing me out and for breaking your charge. I appreciate you looking out because you didn't have to. When she looked down at the green money, it was stained with blood. She figured he took it from some unexpected victim or victims. She slowly tucked the cash in her pocket and hoped this wasn't the last time she had a reason to be around him. You didn't have to give it to me right away. I mean, I could have waited a few more days. I know how tough shit be. Nah, I pay what I owe always. He looked her up. He looked up at her. I said I was going to hit you back, and so did I. Huh? I told you. He looked up at her and said I was going to hit you back, and so I did. She couldn't lie. She needed the money because the landlord had already begun eviction proceedings. With her son missing, she was impatient and heartless. Even the tenant down the hall, who was pregnant and alone, got the cold shoulder when she asked for a few days after going into labor. Fur didn't feel like dealing with her, so Slade was just on time. Thank you, I needed it. She sat next to him. Can I tell you something? She looked down into her hands. I think about you a lot. I think we got off at a bad start, and I don't want it to be that way. If we get to know each other, maybe we can be good friends. Slade was caught off guard. Why you say that? Fur felt stupid for opening up to him so quickly. Instead of being shy around him, she decided to do the opposite, and now felt as if it was an epic fail. No reason, just drop it. All right, well, let me go. He stood up and walked into the living room with Fur on his heels. You sure I can't get you anything to drink before you leave? At that exact moment, Lady crawled out of Lisa's room into the hallway on all fours. I hate you for her crying, and you're going to get everything you deserve too. Lady stood herself up, using the counter and grabbed a bowl and put some ice cubes into it. Then she looked at Slade and said, "If I were you, I'd stay the fuck away from her." When she when she was back when she walked back to Lisa's bedroom and closed the door, he said, "Nah, I'm good. I don't need nothing to drink." No, really, it's water. Slade didn't feel comfort. Bottled water. She didn't want to leave and was trying her hardest to get him to stay. She couldn't fix her lips to say the words, so she used every other trick in the book. It's not open. Bottled water will be cool. Ferb rushed into the kitchen and handed him the water. But when her fingers brushed over his, the bottle dropped out of his hand and bounced to the floor. She quickly picked it up and said, "I'm sorry, Slade. I must be clumsy today." She wiped off the bottle and handed it to her. "It was me, not you," she swallowed. "Look, you sure you don't want to go back into my room so we can have some privacy and maybe talk?" When Chloe and Audio came out, she was blown. "Chloe, what did you do now?" Audio was right behind her. "I wanted to see how everything was rolling without playing." She rolled her eyes and said, "Good, now go back into your room." "Audio, you not over here getting into shit, are you?" Slade asked. Audio rolled his eyes. "I told you we should have stayed in the room," he said to Chloe. "I knew I heard my brother. Rough-ass voice out here. Now he's trying to treat me like a fucking kid again." He looked at Chloe and said, "Can we go back now? Even though I can't get no pussy because your sister won't take her ass to sleep." When they were gone, Slade stepped closer to her. She loved the scent. It was natural and not intrusive. Everything about him made her pussy wetter. "Like I was saying, you want to go into my room and chill?" "I got a few minutes. Somebody in the house waiting on my brother called. So for now, I'll be fine." One of the brothers I met the other day. No, it's a long story. She could tell he didn't want to talk about it, so she wouldn't press the issue. On the way to her room, they bypassed several evil stairs for Lisa, Courtney, and Lady, as they sat on the floor in bed. When they made it to her room, she closed and locked the door. "You sure everything cool here? Your roommate friends don't look so good." "They're not my friend, and it's a long story." She sat on her bed and tried to think of something witty to say. "It was no haps. Thank you for keeping your promise with my money. I love when somebody say they're going to do something and do it." She looked into his eyes. "That shit real attractive to me. It wasn't easy. I'm fucked up out here now, but I'm working on changing my game. You can't do too much enough without passion your fucking enough." "Yes, and if I can do anything to help, let me know." She smiled. "Maybe I can help you look for a job or something." He laughed. "Nah, sweetheart, I'm never working for anybody." Then he sat next to her. "So I found you did something you were attracted to." He searched her eyes. "Because you had me feeling all I could do was wrong when it came to you." "Well, you're not good with reading women." She sat closer to him. He moved away. What is it with you? Every time I go to touch you, you pull away. Yet you get mad at me when I'm quiet." "I know it's not you. Don't lie." She looked at his eyes, but he looked away. "I'm not pretty to you? Is that it? What kind of girls you like? Maybe I can learn to be better." "You got to be fucking kidding me. There ain't shit about you I don't like." "Then what is it?" She moved to touch his leg and he jumped up again. "What am I doing wrong? Am I too rough, too ugly, too dumb? Talk to me." "No, why you acting all weird?" "Then why won't you connect with me? Look, I came to bring your money. I gotta go." "Please don't go, Slade. Don't leave me. I don't want you to." He stopped, his back face still. "Please don't leave without telling me what can I do to make you like me or to make you mine." "You got a man," he turned around. "What you want with me? I don't have shit to offer." He looked around her room. "Everything in here probably costs more than I made all month. That's why I want you. You're not like the rest. You're a real nigga. Who gonna do what he gotta do? Who gonna do what he gotta do to take care of this woman?" She was so close. If he moved and she'd be touching him and she wanted it so bad. "What if I'm the right one and you're pushing me away?" "Listen, you don't know the kind of nigga I am. If you really care about that dude, you wouldn't leave me. You would leave me alone. I can seriously hurt him first." If I even thought you were still dealing with him and me at the same time, what if I tell you that I'm ready to let him go? Will he mind? Chapter 49. That ain't enough for me, not anymore, Fur. Fur pulled the warm covers over her head. She wasn't feeling well and realized she needed to get some medicine. She needed to kill. Her only problem was that her body was so weak she could barely move out of bed. When Slade left that night, she was disappointed that they still didn't make a connection. Because of it, she was suffering from a broken heart of the worst kind. Realizing sleep would not come anytime soon, she decided to jump into the shower. Before getting inside, she allowed the water to run for a while so the bathroom could be steamy. Normally, steam would cause havoc on her hair, but since she was going to wash it anyway, it didn't matter. Dropping the roll to the floor, she wiped the mirror with her hand and examined her yellow skin in its reflection. She was both beautiful and sexy, and yet she couldn't see it. When she felt a heat rush come across her, she moved towards the toilet and threw up an empty stomach. When she was done, she stepped inside. She stepped into the shower, grabbed her soap and washed and foamed a thick lather. Wiping the vomit off her mouth, she scrubbed her neck and upper body. She washed her body several times before realizing her back needed some love too. So she grabbed the long wooden back brush hanging off the shower head. She lathered her bristle and cleaned her back thoroughly. For some reason, she was horny and decided to pleasure herself. Easing down into the shower floor, she allowed the warm water to spray against her face. She sprayed her legs and used the opposite side of the brush to push it into her vagina. Thinking about Slade caused her to feel hornier than she ever did in her entire life. Slade, she moaned. The sloppy sounds of the handle entering and exiting her vagina got louder. Her body was shivering and she felt she was about to come. Slade, she continued saying his name again. F me, Slade, please. Bitch, Slade is not in here, Chloe moaned. Pearl hopped up and threw the brush down. From behind the blue curtain, she said, Chloe, what the fuck you doing in here? She remained hidden and waited for her response. She was tired of her morphine abilities. Shit, and Fur could hear her large clocks hitting the toilet water. I had to go bad. Bitch, how come you not in your own room? She wiped soap out her eyes. I'm tired of not having no fucking privacy around here. I can't go in my room because Mia's shitting in there. Why you ain't use the guest room? Because Shadow's shitting in there. Fur felt like screaming on everybody. She wanted privacy, but now she had anything but. To make matters worse, her first orgasm on stage was brought thanks to her baby sister. What were you doing playing with your pussy? That's what I want to know, she giggled. Fur was overcome with embarrassment as she thought about all the people she would probably tell. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. She could smell shit in the air and was 5 seconds from slapping Chloe in the face with her wet foot. Just hurry the fuck up and get out. Damn. The toilet flushed, and for a moment the water turned cold. Girl, you so ridiculous. Instead of playing with your old ass pussy, you need to go see about that nigga. She washed her hands. Because if his fuck ain't anything like audio, you're in for a treat. When Chloe walked out, Fur hopped out the shower with the water still running. The cold air smacked her body and she closed the door. Easing back into the shower, she decided to wash her hands and forget about busting a nut. Turning the top off the shampoo, she shut her eyes and pulled it over her head. For some reason, she felt things crawling over her face. At first, they felt like leaves, but they seemed to have feet. Whatever was on her, she was sure it wasn't shampoo. When she put the bottle down over her eyes, she saw that her body was covered in roaches. One of her greatest fears was taking place, and there was nothing she could do about it. All that way was just buzz. She couldn't shake the feelings of impending doom. Her chest hardened, and despite the water being hot, she felt chills all over her body. What the fuck is that? She screamed, hopping around. Oh my God, help me. They were on arms, lips, hair, and feet. A few of them were even moving rapidly towards her vagina in an attempt to get away. Unable to fight a phobia that plagued her all her life, she fell into the shower curtain and smacked against the floor. When Fur opened her eyes, she was on the bed. She looked at the white ceiling before looking down. She blinked several times when she saw Chloe, me, and Shadow and Audio staring her direction. She smiled at first, thinking it was all a dream, but when she looked at the bathroom floor, the curtains was still down. Remembering everything, she hopped wildly out of the bed. Everyone moved out her way to prevent getting hit. Fur shook her head and arms, thinking the buzz was still on her body. She continued to act like a mad woman until she got so tired she could only sit down. With her hair all over her head, she breathed heavily and looked at everyone. Where is that bitch? Her asked, huffing and puffing. She clenched her fist. I want her now. She's not here, Chloe sat in between all the legs on the floor. She rolled out after you fell down. Mia was trying to beat the brakes off that ass, but she got scared. Maybe she won't come back now. That ain't enough for me, not anymore. I gotta do something else to that bitch now. She took shit to another level. First stood up and paced the floor. You might not be able to get your chance, sis, Shadow said, popping pizza flavored combos into his mouth. Early before she left, I saw boxes in her room. I think she really made me leaving this time. Fur was thinking of more ways to seek revenge, whether she lived there or not. But all of a sudden, she felt a curve of pain inside her stomach. Oh, she yelled, falling to the floor. Oh my God, help me. Her siblings jumped up and surrounded as worry dressed their faces. What's wrong? Chloe said on the verge of tears. Talk to me, Fur. Shadow yelled. Call 911, she cried. Call 911. Chapter 50. That bitch is gonna really get it now, Lisa. Lisa was over at Courtney's house and they were in the kitchen eating Oreos and milk. Lady stepped out to get some ice cream and was on her way back. Placing roaches and Fur shampoo bottles when she knew she had a phobia made her feel guilty at first. Part of her wanted Fur to pay for the martini poison, but the other part didn't know if she did more damage considering Fur had phobia. After all that time, Lisa still hadn't told her friends about Fur's condition because she wasn't sure if they even believed her. She even thought about the night of their party when the officer took Kirk out yelling that she bit him. It all seemed so weird now. The night they were poisoned, she only told them that she was very dangerous and had to be very careful. Her warning worked because the three of them avoided her the entire night. But now she wondered if the truth wouldn't be better. I still can't believe that bitch did that shit to us, Courtney said. My stomach and ass are still sore to this day. I feel you, my throat's sore too. Lisa rubbed it. She went too hard. I don't know why you don't just leave, girl. They probably fucking with your shit right now. Nah, I got locks on the door. Lisa popped off one side of the cookie and licked the icing. Plus, I'm leaving, just not right now. I told you I packed. You and I both know they can break that lock if they want to, she laughed. Why don't you move back with your mother, at least until you get your own place? Like I said, I'm not leaving right now because I'm not going to give her what she wants. She sipped some milk. Plus, you know I'm not fucking with my mother right now. What I look like moving with her? She hates me and the feeling is mutual. You know she loves you, Lisa. It ain't like she's going to be mad at you forever. Courtney pushed the cookies away and grabbed a half-cut lemon cake from the refrigerator that she bought from Cakes Plus and Marlin. Maybe you shouldn't alter your body anymore, since that's what she's mad about anyway. So you taking her side now? Lisa threw her naked cookie on her plate. Because when I first told you why she was mad, you act like you were on my side, so what's changed? Lisa, don't try to put this shit on me. You the one who left your mother's house in the middle of the night without letting her know where you were. When she called me, what was I supposed to do, lie? The next thing I know, you live with some chick in Platinum Law apartments. You just don't do people like that, you know. She was trying to control me, that's why I left. Lisa, you almost died from the last surgery. The last plastic surgery you had. She got every right to be angry, and if nothing else, concerned. Lisa frowned. I wish people just do them and stay the fuck out of my business. Damn. Courtney put her hands on her hips and said, who the fuck you talking to? Lisa stood up and got in her face. Who answered? They were 5 minutes They were 5 seconds from getting into a fist fight when Lady came back with the ice cream. She put it on the kitchen table counter and looked at their faces. Everything cool. She took the ice cream out of the brown paper bag and placed it on the counter. Because I know y'all not about to fight in here. Please tell me this bitch ain't caused us to start beefing again. Because if she did, this time I'm not talking to both of you y'all bitches for a whole year. Lisa looked at Lady and then Courtney. She sat down and said, "Can you give me some ice cream, please?" Courtney took a seat, even though her face was still distorted in anger. "Instead of us fighting each other, we need to find a way to get her ass back," Lady offered. "And we should do it before you leave, Lisa. That shit she pulled could have killed us." Courtney seemed to be deep in her thoughts before she said, "I got an idea." She went to the black phone on the wall and dialed a number. Lisa and Lady waited for whatever she was about to do. "Hey, Juice, this Courtney. You got a second?" She paused. "I'm going to need Randy's number from you. It's very important." Lisa snuck home to pack her bag so she could stay over at Courtney's for the night. When Marky saw them, he told her that Fur was taken away in the ambulance and that her family followed. Now things were taken too far, and guilt clothed her even more. The only benefit to her revenge scheme was that the house was empty, and she'd be able to grab a few things without confrontation. When she got to her room, she saw it was open and a heavy odor permitted the walls. "Oh my God, what is that smell?" Courtney said, holding her nose. "What is that smell?" Lisa turned the knob and couldn't believe what she saw inside. Human feces was smeared all over the wall, dresser, and her bed. That bitch is really going to get it now. Chapter 51. You need to know that I plan on doing anything I can to make my sister get better. Chloe. Chloe stood in the hospital room with her sister and brother, wondering if Fur was going to make it. She was very sick and for the first few hours was virtually inconsolable. "You don't think we're going to lose her, do you?" Chloe asked. "Because I'm going to die if I lose my sister." Mia wiped the tears from her own eyes before she smacked her so hard her lips cracked and bled. "Bitch, you better never say no dumb shit like that again." She pointed in her face. "I'm sick of you talking about people dying around me and shit." Chloe accepted the smack like a dancer and licked the blood from her lips. "I'm sorry, I'm just fucked up by all of this. Why do you think it's always hit Fur the hardest?" Shadow said softly. "It's like all our lives she had it rougher than us." "I don't know," Mia responded. Maybe because she wants it to be gone better than we do. Whenever you want something so hard, you never get it." They watched over her for a half an hour before Dr. Martin stepped inside the room. Chloe called him, even though she knew Fur would never approve. He placed his hand on Shadow's shoulder and looked solemnly at the rest of them. The family. Over the years, he had grown into a respectable doctor and surgeon with an impressive patientness. Through all his accomplishments and accolades, he could never help the Cottons with their ailments. He was so obsessed with making things right that, although they never knew it, he practically worked for free. As she opened her eyes yet, Dr. Martin asked. "No," Shadow said. "I wish she would, though." "So what can I do?" Dr. Martin, Chloe asked. "You should have seen her in the room. She was in so much pain that she couldn't move. I haven't seen her like that in so long. She was doing so much better. We could continue to medicate, but her liver is taking a beating right now. So anything we do will be after we monitor her for a while. So it's kind of hard to say what else will need to be done until we get more tests. That's why it's so important that she sees me regularly." Dr. Martin, when Fur was self-medicated, she was fine, Chloe said, "but now, listen to me," he said, looking at all of them, "because I already know what you were going to say. This is an urban legend. It's not true." He scanned over their faces for confirmation. "It is virtually impossible for her to get better than that way." Chloe looked at her and then back at him. "I don't understand. I mean, with the illness we have, our bodies aren't making hymns properly correct." Reluctantly, he said, "That's right, Chloe. Okay, you also prescribed us Kinesin, which is blood related, right?" He swallowed and said, "Yes, Chloe, that is correct also. So doesn't it make sense that drinking blood could help her?" "No, Chloe, it doesn't make sense." He looked at all of them. "That's why I'm trying to tell you." That's what I'm trying to tell you. But I've been reading up on it, and it says back in the day when the medicines were unavailable, some people with the illness drank blood and felt better. So how do we know it won't work now? Because it's been tested. He was adamant. That's why we can't have people roaming the earth drinking each other's blood. Your sister was raised in a violent home, very violent. He looked at all of them. I spoke to your grandmother intensely, and she told me a lot about you and your family. Someone was going to have to talk to grandma about her lip thing. Fur doesn't feel better because she drinks blood. She feels better because she craves violence. There's a difference. He could tell Chloe was not buying anything. He said, Chloe, please believe me. I want the best for you, for all of you. But if I find out you're doing anything illegal, I'm forced to tell the police. Dr. Martin, I respect you, Chloe looked at her brother and sister. We all do, but you need to know that I plan on doing anything I can do to make my sister get better, and I do mean anything. So if you have a problem with anything I said, I suggest you step out of my way or get run over. Chapter 52. This is so stupid. You're not going to hurt her if you touch her. Slade. After learning from audio that Fur was sick and confined to bed, Slade decided to pay her a visit. He didn't know if he could do anything to help, but at least he wanted to be in her presence. When he got to her apartment, Chloe opened the door. Hey, Slade, Chloe smiled, although it was obvious she was very upset. Fur isn't up yet. She still feels pretty bad. The doctor gave her some sleeping pills. She opened the door wider. Did you still want to come in? Yeah, if you don't mind. He stepped inside and waved at his brother, who was sitting on the sofa. Where is she? In bed? She closed and locked the door. Yes, you can go back there if you want to. Before he walked away, she said, she really likes you, Slade. Sometimes my sister found it hard to open up, but I really do hope you hang in there with her, please. Slade nodded and moved down the hallway towards her room. When he opened the door, the room was mostly dark with the exception of a white rose-shaped nightlight plugged in the socket. Once inside, he removed his Nike boots and walked to her bed. For a second, he looked down at her while she was asleep. She was beautiful and vulnerable all at once. He didn't know what made her sick, but he sincerely wished she'd get better so they could start their lives together. What was he saying? Being around her made him think about the future. Fur, he said softly, you sleep. When she didn't answer, he removed his jacket and threw it over the broken chair. Then he slowly eased on top of her comforter so he wouldn't wake her up. She was wheezing heavily, and although her eyes were closed, she seemed to be distressed. Slade wondered who she was and where she came from, because their meetings, although brief, left a lasting impression. When she moved slightly, her head fell on her face, and he wiped it away. But what if he hurt her in the process? He would never be able to live with herself. Still, after all these years, she was the first person who ever made him sincerely consider breaking his vows. After 5 minutes of struggling with whether to touch her, he slowly moved the hair away from her face without touching her skin. Now he wondered what her skin would feel like under his fingertips and thought about touching her. Anxiety overcame him and he could feel himself holding back. Fuck, this is so stupid. You're not going to hurt her if you touch her. Just do it. Remembering all the things he hurt in the past, he decided to keep his hands to himself. And then she started whimpering like she was having a nightmare. Her head moved quickly from right to left, and she was crying with her eyes closed. No, Mama, no. Please don't do it. Her head shook rapidly. I love you, she cried. Don't make me. Please. Slade couldn't take it no more, so he carefully placed his hand on her arm, and the whimpering ceased before she exhaled. It was as if he had pulled the nightmare out of her mind with one touch of his hands. Loving the texture of her smooth skin, he rubbed her slowly, and she fell into a deeper sleep. For the rest of the night, he remained in her bed, watching over her, but she would never know because in the morning he'll be gone. So I'll be back with 53, and I don't know how many chapters I'm going to read with 53. I might just read 3. Because they pretty long. So y'all, see y'all later.